The explosive day 2 of Donald Trump's criminal trial for falsification of business records and interference in the 2016 election. Buckle up because things are getting wild. Let's start with Trump's arrival at the courthouse. His grand entrance was overshadowed by a major blow to his Trump media stock. It's nosediving, crashing down to the brink of falling below $20 a share. Can you believe it? Those who invested in his company have lost significant amounts of money, some even their life savings. It seems like yet another failed Trump venture. Trump received a court document warning him that his failure to appear could lead to immediate arrest and imprisonment for contempt of court. The Manhattan District Attorney isn't playing around. They formally filed a motion for contempt against Trump for violating the gag order by threatening and attacking witnesses like Michael Cohen, our co-host on the Midas Touch Network's political beatdown show, and Stormy Daniels. And just when we thought it couldn't get any crazier, Trump keeps digging his own grave. He held a press conference where he created even more evidence against himself. It seems he thinks these press conferences help him, but in reality, they just expose him even more. On a lighter note, it's the only time he manages to stay awake. Now, we're not going to show you the entire press conference because we don't want to spread his propaganda. But let's focus on the key moments. Trump was in typical form, railing against everyone and everything that doesn't align with his narrative. His outbursts could very well end up being used against him in court. Ignorance is not a defense. Trump is trying to claim that he was paying a lawyer who marked payments down as legal expenses, and then an accountant did the same. So he's trying to shift the blame onto them. But here's the kicker. If Trump wants to use an advice of counsel defense, he should have declared it and taken the stand to testify about it. Trump would have faced cross-examination about his plan and scheme to make hush money payments to Stormy Daniels. This was all done to cover up their affair while his wife Melania had just given birth to their son, Barron. It all ties back to covering up information around the time the infamous Access Hollywood tapes came out. Trump was well aware of what was going on and how crucial it was to keep it under wraps. So, if he wanted to blame his lawyer and accountant, he needed to take the stand. But he didn't make an advice of counsel declaration before the trial began, so his attempt to shift the blame falls flat. Now let's take a look at Trump generating more evidence against himself in a recent press conference clip. His comments only continue to add fuel to the fire, showcasing how this trial should never have happened and claiming that the world is watching closely. Trump claims he paid a lawyer, who then marked his payments as legal expenses, followed by an accountant who also categorized them as legal expenses. Essentially, he's trying to shift the blame onto his lawyer and accountant. But Trump, if you want to pursue an advice of counsel defense, you needed to declare it and take the stand to testify about it. By doing so, you would have opened yourself up to cross-examination regarding your plan and scheme to make hush money payments to Stormy Daniels to conceal your affair while your wife Melania had just given birth to Barron. These payments were likely made to prevent the information from coming out around the time the Access Hollywood tapes were released. You were well aware of the situation, so if you want to place blame on your accountant or lawyer, the proper way to do it is by taking a stand and explaining your defense. However, you didn't make an advice of counsel declaration before the trial. According to reporter Frank Roonan, who was in the courtroom, Trump's head was slowly dropping, his eyes closing and then jerking back upward throughout the morning. He seemed to be struggling to stay awake, adjusting himself, leaning back, and even nodding off for several minutes at a time. This has been going on since yesterday afternoon, and it looks like this trend might continue. It's interesting because this whole situation seems to align with a pattern we've seen before. Whenever Trump and his supporters criticize others, especially President Biden, with the nickname Sleepy Joe, it often appears to be a case of projection. In reality, Trump seems to be the one struggling to stay awake during the trial. Meanwhile, there's been some misinformation coming from the MAGA world. They are claiming that the judge made an order regarding the trial that didn't actually happen. This could be a continuation of the narrative we saw during the New York Attorney General's civil fraud trial. Trump often claims that Justice Engoron said Mar-a-Lago is worth $18 million, and he calls it a lowball valuation. But let's clear the air. Justice Engoron isn't the one valuing Mar-a-Lago. Instead, he was repeating the valuation Trump and his tax advisors placed on the property. Trump wanted to devalue it to pay less in taxes, and now he's using that figure against the judge. If we were to value Mar-a-Lago as residential property, it would likely be worth around $300, $400 million, not $1.50, or $2 billion as Trump claims. It's still a substantial sum, but far from the exaggerated figures Trump is throwing around. Now let's turn our attention to the Manhattan District Attorney case. Trump is shifting the narrative to his son's graduation, saying he's not being allowed to attend Barron's big day. He's been saying for years how much he wants to attend, and now he's portraying himself as the victim. In steps Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, who seems to lack any self-respect and is happy to spew utter nonsense. Habba is echoing Trump's claims, asserting that Justice Merchan is depriving Trump of attending Barron's graduation. It feels like Trump and his legal team are trying to divert attention away from the real issues at hand. By focusing on personal matters and playing the victim card, they hope to gain sympathy and detract from the trial's substance. Let's talk about the latest twist in the Manhattan District Attorney case involving Donald Trump. One of the claims Trump's legal team is making is that the judge overseeing the case is not allowing Trump to attend his son Barron's graduation on May 17th. They're painting a picture of Trump as a devoted father who is being unfairly kept from an important family event. In addition to Barron's graduation, they also bring up Passover, suggesting that the judge is not respecting the religious observance of Jewish attorneys on both Trump's and the district attorney's teams. They present this as a sad state of affairs for the American people. But let's take a closer look at Trump's track record when it comes to attending his children's graduations. Jeff Pearlman did some great research. In 1996, Donald Trump Jr. graduated from the Hill School in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, but Trump did not attend the graduation. In 2000, Ivanka Trump graduated from Choate Rosemary Hall in Wallingford, Connecticut, but Trump did not attend the graduation. In 2002, Eric Trump graduated from the Hill School in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, and again, Trump did not attend the graduation. In 2012, Tiffany Trump graduated from Viewpoint School in Calabasas, California, and Trump failed to attend that graduation as well. Given this history, it seems unlikely that Trump's recent complaints about not being able to attend Barron's graduation are entirely genuine. This pattern suggests that he may not prioritize attending his children's graduations as much as he's currently portraying. We're taking a closer look at a recent communication from Donald Trump to his supporters. He sent out an emergency broadcast email claiming he just stormed out of Biden's kangaroo court. Let's break down what really happened and set the record straight. First off, Trump's claim that he stormed out of the court is simply untrue. In reality, he was reportedly struggling to stay awake during the trial proceedings. This isn't Biden's kangaroo court. It's a Manhattan courtroom where Trump is facing charges of committing 34 separate felonies for falsifying business records. The charges stem from Trump's involvement in covering up his affair with Stormy Daniels and reclassifying the payments as legal expenses. These payments were actually related to hush money to keep the affair quiet. The case also involves Trump's connection to American Media Inc., the parent company of the National Enquirer, which engaged in a catch-and-kill scheme involving other women Trump had affairs with. These serious charges revolve around falsifying business records, a clear violation of the law. It's not about political persecution. It's about Trump's actions and the legal consequences he now faces. Instead of facing the facts, Trump seems to be trying to distract his supporters and paint himself as the victim. It's important to stay focused on the legal issues at hand and remember that the trial is about holding him accountable for his alleged crimes. Thanks for watching. Please like the video, press the subscribe button, and also drop your thoughts in the comments section.